KILR KILR Games.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the KILR Gamer and welcome to my world tour featuring Microsoft Flight Simulator 3. It looks just like Microsoft Flight Simulator 4, doesn't it? But I'm not going to leave out number 3. Even though 4 is just like this one except a little better, we're not leaving it out. Because hey, who knows? There might be someone out there, maybe you, that remembers Flight Simulator 3. Maybe it was your first one. We're not leaving it out. We're going to include it. So, if you follow my World Tour series with all the simulators, then you pretty much already have an idea of the flight plan that we'll be following. Going to do the same exact flights. As much as we can. We will be limited to the SubLogic scenery disks. Unlike Flight Simulator 4, this one you can't create custom scenery. As far as I know, the only one that you're able to do that with was Flight Simulator 4 and above, because of the way it was designed. So we're just going to be stuck with SubLogic scenery disks. That means that we'll have 80% coverage in the continental US. Out of the 12 scenery disks, there are 2 that were not created, and I believe that was number 8 and number 10. I believe it was those 2. 8 covered Montana, Billings, Wisconsin, Minnesota, while 10, yeah, it is 10. 10 is Louisiana, New Orleans, that area there. It sucks. It sucks that they didn't do those 2. They did, however, release USA West and USA East for Flight Simulator 4, and it does cover those areas. I double-checked. I double-checked it to make sure, because I thought maybe USA West was just going to be scenery discs 1 through 6, and USA East was going to be whatever they eventually had. I wasn't sure if it was going to have that coverage. It does. So, yay. Happy about that. Even if it didn't, at least with Flight Simulator 4, you can create your own scenery. But Flight Simulator 3, not that I'm aware of. If you can, please let me know. And we will soup this thing up and get it to follow exactly. But considering on FlightSim.com that there's not a section for Flight Simulator 3, yeah. Anyhow, what are the main difference? Well, okay, so we already talked about some of the differences. A lot of it is the same. One thing that I noticed is that on Flight Simulator 4, you could press the space bar to go back to the simulator. On these, you have to hit escape, which was also an option, but that just kind of backs you out of the menu. So if you're into another menu, then escape moves you back to the next menu, which gets kind of annoying, whereas you could press space and just go right back to the simulator, but here we can't do that. 3, environment. This is what we got set up here. One thing that's missing is the weather and how we can generate randomly. Unable to do that here. Clouds. Now I've noticed that this is... Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was set, but this all says 0. That's why there's... Look at that. Thunderstorms. Okay. That's why it's... we don't see any clouds in the sky. So, maybe what we'll do is we'll go to tops, which we'll press 1. And, I don't know, we'll say... Whoops. 10,000. And... Oh, no, that was the base. Oh, that's okay. 9,000. We're not going to go that high. And 3. Let's say scattered. There's usually clouds in the sky. Well, we'll go scattered to 8. There we go. Hit escape for exit. Now do you see it takes you back to this menu. Whereas if you had the space bar, you go right back to the simulator. Okay, I'm not going to mess with winds. And then there is 4. So this also has those ground textures, so to speak, where you can have the dots, or you can have the small rectangles and the large rectangles. On this one, I don't know. I was just going to have the ground texture off, but maybe we'll use dots, so that way it doesn't look so bland. Alright, our crash detection is on. I turned off auto coordination, so I've got control with the rudder. Let's see. Control position indicator. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that is. A, realism. So here you go. This is what I turned on. And everything but fast throttle. I'm just going to move the throttle up. I don't need anything more than that. Reliability, we got it on reliable. I'm not able to get a joystick to work. And then 5, nav.com. This is where you can load up the scenery disk. You do that with number 2, scenery load. You got to have the SCN file inside the directory. And it's, I think it's only going to work with the SubLogic ones. Now you can create scenery files for Flight Simulator 4, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. Because I tried USA East and USA West on Flight Simulator 3. It's like, bleh. You didn't like it and then it froze. Alright, and this one's got autopilot also, so that's cool. Alright, well now that we've gone over that, let's go ahead and go over our flight plan. So we are here. As most of you already know, Merrill C. Meigs, that is the starting point of almost all the flight simulators, with the exception of a couple. We're going here to Chicago O'Hare International because, well, you know, we absolutely have to hit O'Hare. And we'll just tune in to the VOR and head directly for it. Let's go ahead. We'll tune in control tower for Meigs, control tower for Chicago O'Hare. Most likely it's going to tell us to take off from 36 and land on runway 4. But let's find out. Oh, wait a minute, there was something else too. Okay, this one does have air traffic control. All right, that's cool. I wasn't sure if it did or not. Oh, that worked. You can hit the space bar. You can hit the space bar and it will go back to the simulator. It just, they don't have it written there, but you can hit it. I just hit it without thinking. It was just natural habit from playing Flight Simulator 4 a lot. Alright, so Merrill C. Meigs 121.3. Makes feel, oh my goodness, it's from the middle. Okay, I think that's fast because the cycles are fast. I'm going to change that on DOSBox. Okay. I've reduced it down to about 20,000 cycles. We'll see if that... I don't want to reduce it too far because then it gets a little choppy. Let's try that again. Let's see how it changes. That still seems fast, doesn't it? Well, maybe that's normal. I don't know. Alright, ATIS for Chicago O'Hare is 135.15. 5. It just put an O. I've not seen that. Yep. Just as I thought. Okay, so VOR is 113.9. Oh, it's already set. Look at that. Alright, sorry, I had to pause there and change things because we had someone knock on our door and they gave us this that says Merry Christmas on the side, and on the inside they just knocked on the door and ran away. And on the inside, not one, but two. Someone gave us $200. Maybe it was a fan of my flight simulator videos. If they know where I live, I'm scared. Am I going to buy flight sim stuff with it? No. We believe you should set money aside for an emergency. It's good to have that in an account, but it's also good to have some emergency money as cash also. So part of it will be saved and part of it will be hidden, because you never know. I mean, bank systems can go down and then you don't have access to your cash, or who knows what. So just speaking with you, make sure you have an emergency fund so you're not relying on credit cards. At least 1,000, more is better, and make sure you have some cash set aside out of the way, but don't forget where it's at, just in case there is an emergency. You've got cash on hand. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Flight Simulator. Yo, what were we doing? We were setting radios is what we were doing. Okay, Chicago O'Hare 1113. Wow, I don't know, where am I? Here it goes. Okay, so it was already set. Okay, this is nearly centered. That is the route that we want to go. I think that's it. I think we can go ahead and go. So let's do that. Well, you're going to start and click this. All right, and there is nothing more soothing to the ears than that PC speaker sound. That's another difference too. Now, Flight Simulator 4 has like the same sound, and you'll notice that in my Flight Sim 4 videos. However, after we depart Champaign, I've got the sound and graphics upgrade. Where are you? Sound and graphics and aircraft upgrade. So that gives it an engine sound. You got landing gear, flaps. If anything, it brings it up on par with the Commodore Amiga, which just had the engine sound and I think like the OMI marker beacons and stall. but it didn't have sound effect for gear or flaps. The interesting thing is the sound effect for gear and flaps carried over into Flight Simulator 5. So it's an interesting thing. Oh, and the touchdown, the landing on the Amiga, it sounds like a screech. It's like, ow, you know, like when a jetliner lands, it sounds like that. I've always thought that was just a weird sound, especially in flying in a Cessna. Okay, well, let's get going here. Animation's nice and smooth. I like that. Just a rudder here. There we go. Nice smooth takeoff there. We'll go and bring the landing gear up. We'll make a turn over here towards the skyscrapers. And I'll bring the power down so that way we can start leveling out. Yeah, I like doing the dots on this one. I don't want to do the same exact thing like I've been doing on Flight Simulator 4. And also, too, when I was testing things out on here, the runways that are gray blend in with the gray from the rectangle, so it kind of looks not the greatest. Oops. Okay, this over here should be O'Hare Airport. I should have used the autopilot, or not the autopilot, the air traffic control feature. We'll use that for landing, if I don't forget. So we got about 11 miles left. I'll kind of go briefly over some stuff that I've been, it's probably in here. So this cool thing, I've been collecting sets of binders that were formerly belonged to a real pilot who retired and just continued with Flight Simulator. Well, he passed away, but his daughter has been working with me on purchasing reasonable price all of his collection, and his collection spans the whole world. Something like 30 binders or something like that. But in here I have Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, which ironically are going to be the areas that we're going to hit, at least on the other simulators. That we won't be able to hit Minnesota and Wisconsin with this one. But look at this. I got some maps here. Chicago. And then for Illinois, he's got, as you can see, he's got these maps, a list of airports, and here it is, diagrams of the airport, approach charts, and he's got this for the whole world. I don't have the whole USA yet. I only got the states, just a few right now. But I got Canada. I've got North African. Is that North African coast? Yeah. The Caribbean. There's like 3 of those. No, 2 of those. And then I got Eastern Europe, Western Europe. And then just recently I got Africa. This is South America. No, okay, I didn't get Africa. It's South America. But that one like covers like 3 binders or something. And it's got charts, maps, and it's going to be awesome for this series because it's going to give me ideas. It's like, oh, I got charts. I've got, a list of, airports. It gives me a great idea. Okay, where are we going to go? I don't have to sit there and randomly pick stuff. I can go through the binders and know what, the main stops are. So, yeah, this is going to be awesome. Too bad we can't do it with Flight Simulator 3, but hey, Flight Simulator 4 is just I wouldn't say a step up from this, but it's a decent upgrade from 3, and we will be able to travel around the world on that one. I'm hoping. I think we can. There are some people that have made scenery for Africa and Asia, Middle East. Scroll lock and number key is going to give us our views. Maybe we could land at that runway right there. Who says we have to land at 4? Who cares? Let's go land at this one. Let's get our flaps down. And our gear will get slowed down here. Well, I sure think that's a runway up there. Okay. And now it's time for us to make our descent. Yeah, we'll be flying to the same locations. We're not necessarily going to be landing at the same runways. And we're not always going to be using the same type of scenery. So, for example, on Flight Simulator 4, I was using Scenery Disk 9 from SubLogic. Here, I'm not using Scenery Disk 9. I'm using the default scenery. If I had USA East when I first started, I would have used that. I do have East and West now. They won't be used yet because I've already went ahead and built custom scenery in Wisconsin and Minnesota, and plus downloaded some stuff. But after that, yeah, absolutely, we're going to be... Because I did check it out, and it looks good. And it's just so awesome that they actually covered the U.S. I didn't think I thought we'd have to create scenery, but no. I still would have had to create scenery. Not everything. There are airports that I'll be going to that didn't have coverage. But yeah, this one here looks like a runway. I think I see a center line right there. Try to get ourselves lined up a little bit. Double check. Make sure our landing gear is down. It is. Almost seems like a starship where it's flat and you got like the nacelle here and the strut. It's the USS Enterprise. Let's not crash. I had that problem with Flight Simulator 2. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2, let me be specific on that. Because there's SubLogic Flight Simulator 2. And I just recently did some videos on Flight Simulator, or Microsoft Flight Simulator 2. Come on down. The price is right. Price is right here. My goodness, this runway is like all over the place. It's not very straight, is it? It's kind of angled off here. Now, we touched on the runway and kind of went off, but we'll turn here. I see something yellow over there. Oh, that's probably the fuel. Like, what's the yellow thing? Oh my goodness, there's a control tower. I don't think that's there on Scenery Disc 9 because I don't remember it. I don't remember that being there when we were in Flight Simulator 4. Of course, it was a while since I recorded that first video with Flight Simulator 4. black line here. Whoa, I'm moving my ailerons. That's not going to move me. Got to use my rudder. This is literally a fuel box. Okay. Ooh, that's nice and smooth. It's smoother than the Amiga. Well, we are here at Chicago O'Hare. We'll turn that off. And that about does it. So I hope you'll check this out on the other simulators and join us for the next leg of our flight. This is not going to be the only one that we do in Flight Simulator 3. It's not like some of the other videos that, you know, might be out there where you just kind of see a little bit of something. Nope. We are doing flights with this one. So I've never flown Microsoft Flight Simulator 3. This is the first time, other than just a few tests, I'm actually flying it. And it's going to have, I'll be making new memories with it. And hopefully there'll be new memories for you, or it'll bring back some memories for you. So, all right. Well, thanks, and I will see you on the next leg of our journey. I hope you enjoyed the beginning of our world tour and trip down memory lane with this flight simulator. Be sure to check out the other versions of this same flight with different simulators. Why? Well, it gives us a chance to look back at what was, how things changed, and it's just fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another flight.